Assalamualaikum and hi. Today we are going to present about strategic performance measurement, which is SPM. First, let me introduce our group member. I am Shafika and Siti Aisyah, Siti Hajar, Intan Sarah Sofia and Muhammad Shafiq. What is strategic performance measurement? Strategic performance measurement (SPM) is an approach that makes an organization's strategic goals more transparent to line executive and provide an ongoing mechanism to monitor progress toward this goal through simple and intuitive performance measure. SPM creates a common language among all parts of the organization so they can interact transparently and effectively, thus helping to break down silos. SPM has 4 elements. First, which is aligning and carrying strategy objective down to a day operational goal. Second, developing balanced scorecard for reporting. Third, making reporting easier and focusing on metric and meta. And the last one is testing and validating operational and strategic decisions.
Next, we move on to the characteristic of an effective performance management. It is important to identify the characteristic that makes a performance measure a good assessment of goal concurrence, because without a proper performance measure, the goal concurrence is almost impossible to achieve and will likely lead to lost profits and dissatisfied employees. So, a good performance measurement system should have the following characteristic. The first one is the performance measurement should be based on the activities over which manager have control or influence to it. The performance measurement system provide an indication of how well the evaluated managers are doing their job. So this is not only to ensure that the plan is clear to all parties involved in the process, but it is also help to motivate the managers. So rather than being told what goals are to be met, manager will be more motivated to achieve the goals if they have input to the process and the goals to be reached and the measurements or metric to be used. Next, it should be timely. It is very important for the information that is used in the performance measurement system to be gathered, evaluated and present in a timely manner. Because if manager do not receive appropriate feedback in a timely manner, they will not know which decision that they should continue to make in the same manner and which are less effective. So, timely information allows the evaluation team to determine the effective of individuals' management decision on the corporation as a whole. In addition to be timely, performance measure need to be applied or measured consistently. The accounting variables or other measures that used to evaluate a manager should be measured the same way from period to period. For example, if a performance measure include some form of income, such as operating income, then that measure should be used each time and not replaced with another income measure for that current measurement cycle, usually for 1 year. But if upon further analysis, then the new measure can be implemented during the next measurement cycle, which is next year. Besides, it should be consistent in its application. When measures are changed, it is imperative that the manager being evaluated is aware of the measurement change, as this may affect the decision making. The idea is to keep the target stable for a period. Otherwise, the measurement might be inconsistent and misleading. Next, when appropriate, the actual result should be compared with the budgeted results, standard or past performance. Performance measures are only useful if there is a baseline against which to compare the measured result. In evaluating performance measure, a standard, baseline or threshold is typically used as a basis against which to compare the actual result of the manager. Last but not least, the measurements must not favor the manager over the goals of the entire organization. Factors that causes manager to make what is typically the best decision for themselves rather than the best decision for the overall good of the corporations, especially if the decision that benefits the corporation is not beneficial to the managers.
Next, I will continue to explain on 8 steps for developing a strategic performance measurements. First, you need to understand and map business structures and processes. In this challenge, we were designing a performance measurement system in order to evaluate the organizations, its competitive positions, the environment in which it operates, and its business processes. This is an opportunity to examine some of the organization's strategic challenge after engaging in it. Second, develop business performance priorities. From the organization strategy through its business processes, the performance measurement system should satisfy the stakeholders' needs. This priority list must be in place before the process moves on the design phase. Third, understand the current performance measurement systems. There are 2 ways to approach the design and implementations of a new performance measurement system, which is the organizations can either scrap the old systems and introduce the new one as a replacement or redevelop the existing systems. Fourth, develop performance indicators. This is the most important elements that the company will use in order to measure their organization's performance and business processes. This is the point in the design process using a cascading approach, where the top-down meets the bottom-up design approach and where the broad masses of the organizations become involved. Fifth, decide how to collect the required data. This activity must be addressed during the development of the performance indicators, so the company needs to avoid selecting those that can never actually be measured. The proliferations of modern ERP systems has turned this into an exercise in figuring out which data can be extracted from the system data warehouse. And the sixth one, design reporting and performance data presentation formats. In these steps, the organizations decide how the performance data will be presented to the users, how the users should apply the performance data for management, monitoring and improvement, and who will have access to the performance data. 7. Test and adjust the performance measurement system. So in this step, the organization should test the system and adjust the elements that do not work as a plan. So the company will have a system where the main quirks have been eliminated and their system will still not be perfect. Last but not least, implement the performance measurement systems. So the last step involves activities such as managing user access, training, and demonstrating the system is important and what will be used.
Then I proceed to the key tools and technique for performance management. The first one is key performance indicator, which is KPI and metrics. KPIs and metrics provide a way to measure how well companies, business units, projects, or individuals are performing in relation to their strategic goals and objectives. The primary value of KPIs is enabling rich data-driven performance conversations and better decision makings. For the well-designed KPI is giving a clear picture of current levels of performance and whether the business is where it needs to be or not. Next, performance appraisal. Performance appraisals are incredibly powerful for aligning the goals of individuals with the strategy aims of the organization. Employee must feel that the appraisal process is a regular, honest, fair and constructive two-way conversation. If not, the appraisals can be a powerful demotivator and leading to a decline in performance. Besides 360-degree feedback, it provides individuals with a broad assessment of their performance based on the views of those around them, including their supervisor, manager, direct reports, peers, customers, suppliers, and so on. So these 360-degree feedbacks help to democratize the review process by weighting the opinions of many people instead of just the individual line managers. Then the performance manager framework. One of the most popular and best known management framework is Balanced Scorecard, which is BSC. The BSC is a strategy execution tools that help company to the first one is to clarify their strategy and communicate their business priorities and objectives. Other than that is to monitor progress by measuring to what extent priorities and objectives are being delivered. Other than that is to define and manage actions, plans to ensure initiatives are in place to deliver the business priorities and strategic objectives. Other than that is reward and recognition programs. Reward and recognition programs are therefore an important part of any true performance management system, because this is creating a method for celebrating those who are high performers. For many companies, this means dishing out financial rewards, but it is a simple praise and recognition of job well done is just as important for maintaining moral and continued high performance for employees. Lastly is a personal development plans, PDP. A PDP is effectively a tailored action plans that is based on reflection and awareness of an individual's performance and needs. This setting out goals for future performance and action that will support personal development. So PDPs are often used to identify specific training and development needs and create an action plan for meeting those needs. So this is not only help the individual feels more invested in the company and the role they play in in its success, but it also identifies concrete steps that can help drive individual performance in the future.
Next, we move to the popular strategic performance measurement in practice. The most popular SPM is Balanced Scorecard. At Shell, the performance measurement approach has evolved from the Balanced Scorecard approach in 1996 to a more robust framework, which now forms the basis of employees' appraisals. Up to 30% of the salary is available as a bonus based on the individual scorecard results. Furthermore, the Balanced Scorecard approach was also implemented at base systems to support an existing cultural change program by reinforcing the fundamental values. It also encouraged behavior that was consistent with company goals and values. Next, we move to evaluating strategic performance measurement. Evaluation involves setting a performance standard, measuring the result of a firm's activities, and comparing the result to the standard. One specific form of evaluation is called benchmarking. It is a process in which the performance standards are based on another firm's superior performance. For example, in the hospitality industry, business theme park operations are used as a standard for other companies in the theme park industry. For example, Universal Studios are likely to compare their customer satisfaction to Disney's in order to know whether they are giving the same satisfaction theme park experience to their customers.
I will continue to explain the development of incentive and reward system by using SPM systems. Organizations today are demonstrating a high level of commitment to reward and incentive systems that are connected with other HR practice and the organization's goals. An effective remuneration strategy aids in hiring result-oriented employees who thrive and excel in performance-based organizations. So as a result, it is an important motivator that, when correctly applied, can help to increase staff productivity. Furthermore, the individual's performance score can be used to develop incentive and reward for the employee in an organization. A standard way to develop the overall performance score is to assign a mid-range score, such as score of 3 out of 5 for a performance level that is within plus or minus 1 standard deviations of a certain percentage of the target level of performance. Then, lower scores would be awarded for performance further below the target and higher scores for the performance further above the target. The range of performance measures relating to a given score can be scaled to reflect the increasing level of difficulty of achieving higher scores. Next, an effective reward system should be linked with the performance development system, which focuses on a performance-based pay and offers ample learning opportunities along with a healthy work environment. Next, variable pay can play a crucial role in boosting the performance of the employees. A few such reward practices may take the forms of gain sharing, bonus, team-based incentive, profit sharing, ESOPs, and equity-based incentive awards. Beside the monetary rewards, the contemporary employees desire for non-monetary reward, which is maybe in the form of a better career opportunities, skills development, and recognition programs. So many IT and project-based organizations give much importance to non-monetary reward for maximizing employee satisfaction.
I will continue about benefit of SPM. The first is increase the productivity of individual and teams. When there are clear goals available, it's become easier for individuals and teams to strive toward them. This is because there are specific standards and guidelines which are used to measure success. Next is identify underperforming individuals and teams. With a performance measurement process in place, it's become possible to easily identify underperforming individuals and teams because their output can be directly compared to the output of others using the same chart. The final is provide the opportunity to recognize top performer. By establishing individual metrics, it's become possible to find and recognize the top performance on a teams. This creates more chance for an organization to keep its best people. Obviously, every system have their limitation. The limitation of SPM is first lead to decreased level of output. It may require unskilled or untrained worker to reach metrics that are unsustainable at their current level of training. The end result is demotivation instead of output improvement. Next is makes communication difficult. Metrics must be defined by certain key terms and process. A natural reaction that people have when they encounter something they do not know involve avoid. This means people will shut down if they do not understand what is being asked of them, which can cause communication breakdown. Lastly is lack of commitment. In order to performance measurement to work, everyone on the team must be all in for the process to work. Any negative commitment to the process will disrupt the metric for others, which can then create a trickle-down effect for other teams.
Influence of the strategic performance measurement system on business decision. Okay, strategic stability can be influenced by a variety of unpredictable and variable events. Organization has joint performance measurement system such as Tablet of the Box or the balance scorecard over the years in their constances for value creation, sustainability, competitive and productivity. The goal of this system is to support management decision making as well as management and performance evaluation. Unforeseen variable and irregular factor might impact strategic stability. As a result, management decision constitute an important link between the natural and organizational work as well as the ability to adapt effectively to elements that affect strategic stability.
How? A strategic performance measurement system is better than ordinary performance measurement system. Strategic performance measurement system is an approach widely being followed in the organization to analyze the performance of the employee. The goal of the company are aligned with the metrics of measurement under this system. The strategic performance measurement system is better than the ordinary performance measurement as more parameters, both financial and non-financial, are taken into consideration under the former system. The system is cost-effective to manage and easily to execute.
In conclusion, companies across industry must become far more agile in order to exploit to the growth prospect. In large firms, success has always hinged on employees at a level comprehending corporate strategy and how it affects their day-to-day operation. The difference nowadays is that the corporate environment is constantly changing and in motion. To keep up, company need agility, which include being able to modify performance benchmark rapidly and cascade to changes down the organization so that everyone works together to achieve strategic goals. SPM is an effective tool to bridge in the gap between strategy and execution.